I will take my favorite slasher film. I'm assuming I think it's a slasher film. It is to me. And one of my favorite pastimes is sleeping. And Freddy Krueger comes in and kills you in your sleep. Give me Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It is real unsettling, unnerving, and it's pretty freaking scary watching this burned man come at you with these giant claws. One of the more iconic scary movie villains as well. Give me Nightmare on Elm Street.
I thought you were going to take a different one, and you scared me. I thought we were going to be on the same.
is a
Very
scary
rarely
movie.
are we a
Scary
same
movie draft,
101.
Jessica. I do want to scare you.
Ooh, spooky. I will take what I consider to be the best slasher of all time. Give me Halloween. Give me when I first decided that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to be one of my favorite actresses for all time.
For the record.
The original Halloween, 1978, 1979.
Is this
Yep, 78.
Late 70s.
78?
78,
Okay.
yep.
So I could take a remake to Halloween.
Sure.
All right, cool.
But I think it is one of the most suspenseful horror movies. It is full of jump scares.
I like that.
And it has iconic theme music. That is a major thing for me with a scary movie. Does it have a theme song that haunts my dreams? Like, I'll just be walking home and I'll hear like,
Oh, no, that's the other one.
No, the music makes it.
Yeah.
the music makes the movie, and I am
Now that you
absolutely
bring that
scared.
up, now
I'm
you
still scared of
change it.
Michael Myers.
You should be.
I'm so scared of Michael Myers that for the longest time I associated Mike Myers with Michael Myers, and I didn't like Mike Myers despite Mike Myers being a very funny person, but I said it was too close to Michael Myers and it messed up in my brain. So that's where we're at.
Okay, I really wanted that one.
That's too bad.
It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's just a classic, so that's a good choice. I'm going to go with the movie that I think is the scariest movie of all time, and that is The Exorcist from 1973. Just when you like mix religious stuff and horror and children, that like really freaks me out. And like this, I mean, it even starts like the scene when she's just in the hospital and starts seeing like the images and that the face starts flashing on the camera. And obviously the iconic scene when she's crawling down the stairs backwards like that, I turned that off. I can remember watching that on cable when I was a kid for the first time and having to turn it off and go back to it later because it scared me that bad. So I'm going with The Exorcist.
Something about kids.
Yeah, man.
Kids will
Freaks
creep
you out.
They creep me out. I'm with you on that, Bennett.
And I got
possessed
kids.
by
Like
the devil.
my kids are great, but yeah,
Very
scary
scary.
kids. Yeah, I don't
Also,
like it.
I'm convinced if I could do that backwards crawl down the stairs, like my back pain would be solved forever. So I think I should just give it a try, and then I would just violently vomit everywhere. That vomit scene was a lot to take in.
She actually hurt herself in that movie. Also,
Yes.
doing some of the stunts
Yes.
necessary. The floating, the levitation, and then moving about the room.
Okay, that was a good pick, Bennett.
Good pick.
Thank
Good
you.
pick.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
pick.
Thank you.
I didn't think I'd be able to get two of the three, but like if we're talking slashers,
Yeah.
like it's three I think that are very clear. I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's Halloween. And then I think it's the Friday the 13th movies. I didn't think I'd be able to get two of those, but I will. And I will take Friday the 13th. And Jessica, you brought it up. Just the music and the suspense in that movie make it so very good. The original one, and I will walk around the house sometimes and hit the shh, 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 ah, ah, ah. Like that's iconic.
Yeah.
I love it. Give me Friday the 13th.
Good pick. Ooh. This is tough. I'm playing a game here, and I'm going to take one, and I'm nervous that I'm going to miss out on one that I really want on my team, but that's okay. With my second pick, give me the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have never viewed chainsaws the same way. If I hear the of a chainsaw in a haunted house, CJ can attest, I lose my mind. I can't handle it, even though in my brain I know there would never be somebody, I don't know, I don't want to do it again. There would never be someone using a chainsaw with the chain on it in a haunted house, or so I would hope, unless that they were trying to make a new version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leatherface, having a mask with human skin is just hands down one of the scariest costumes of a horror movie, and Leatherface does it for me. It's still, like, that movie puts a pit in my stomach when I think about it.
Yeah, Variety just named it the #1 horror movie of all time in their top 100. Yep. And Okay, let me ask y'all a question. Would I have gotten The Exorcist if I would have waited for it to come back to me?
No, I probably would have taken it.
You would have taken it? Okay, because I really wanted both of those that you stole from me.
That's why you got to train your duck better, Bennett.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I know. Let me go with, okay, God, now I'm like kind of thrown off a little bit. Let me go with a newer one since I picked one from the 70s. I'll go with The Witch from 2015.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, when you go like, you know, it's like 1600s, like the feudal, and this family, like they were kicked out of their village and they have to move out in the woods and recreate their lives. And the daughter stumbles upon a like weird, like basically she gets into like involved in like some occult stuff, and a baby disappears, and it's super freaky. The Witch is, I think, one of the scariest modern horror movies, just because I don't know, man, that scene at the end with the goat, it's very disturbing. Yeah, I'm gonna go The Witch 2015.
Good ass pick, Bennett.
All right.
Good ass pick.
CJ.
I'm not sure if this is modern. I think it's modern. It's been done a lot though, and I get it being fatigued by it. But yo, when Saw came out, and Saw is my favorite gory movie. When Saw came out, I left the theater a time or two. I was like, hold on, let me go get some popcorn real quick to reset myself. That movie is so unnerving. There's suspense in it, and there's legit terror, and you've got gore, and then at the end of it, the twist is incredible at the end of Saw. You spend your whole time trying to figure out how to get these people out of the situation they're in, only to find out, oh, the answer's been there damn near the entire time. Give me Saw, my favorite gore movie, and honestly, my second favorite twist in a scary movie all time.
The needles. I always think about the needles.
That's Saw
The
2.
needle. That's
If you
Saw
wanna
2.
take Saw
When
2,
the
you
girl
can get
sticks
Saw
her
2.
hand through the thing.
Is Saw, wait,
Yeah.
is Saw 2 also the one where they abduct the person from the parking lot?
No, that's Saw.
Is that the first Saw?
That's
or the
the
second
first Saw.
That's
Yeah.
the first.
I always blend all the Saws together in my brain, but all the different things. Saw in similar fashion, I'm not going to take it, but similar fashion to the Final Destination franchise. I can never, outside Final Destination 3, I watched maybe 150 times because it had a DVD where you could like choose your own adventure and take different
remember that.
paths through
I
the
remember the
DVD.
choose your own
and I remember
adventure.
like driving to basketball tournaments and making my teammates choose our own adventure, watch
What is
weird
wrong
way to
with
get
you?
pumped a lot. I had a huge horror movie phase. But anyway, so Saw 2, when they do abduct from the parking lot, I think about it all the time.
Saw 1, they abduct the guy from the parking
Or Saw 1 from the parking lot.
When you say needles, are we
The
talking
heroin. The heroin
about?
addict.
Yeah, that's 2.
Is that 2?
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure. So she's
Wow, why
in
did I
both.
think-
She's in both.
The bathtub's 1.
bathtub.
The hacksaws. Yeah, the bathtub.
Bathtub is 1.
The hacktub.
The bathtub is 1, and then there are a couple of needles in 2, if I remember correctly. One where he throws the heroin addict into the giant.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about the eyeball?
I've only seen the first 2.
The eyeball.
I've seen the first 3.
I've seen 3, and I saw Spiral.
How many are there? Like 10?
I think
there's
so.
10.
9. The eyeball one, I think that's 1 also.
think
Is that
that's
how
1.
1 starts?
No, the one starts with the bathtub. You
Okay.
see it opens with the guy in the bathtub.
Got you.
I think.
So I think
I'm like 99% sure.
the eye one
Okay.
is 1.
That's a good one. Okay, I'm so excited that I get this with my third pick. I think the scariest thing about a scary movie is what you don't see and the fear of what lies. Well, that's gonna.
I knew you were going to take it.
No,
I knew
I'm not
it.
taking that. I'm taking Jaws. Jaws with my third pick.
It's good.
I think
It's good.
it is one of the more untraditional horror movies. The monster is something that is real. It is a shark. It is a shark that you don't see. You only hear the music. They were very intentional. Steven Spielberg was very intentional with the use of the score for Jaws, having you think about the shark before you actually see the shark. Just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water, it is not safe to get back in the water. I think Jaws is one of not just the best horror movies of all time, but the best movies of all time, and thus I consider it a scary movie.
Okay, that's a great pick. I'm going to go with a throwback here. And I don't think it's one of the scariest movies of all time. I think it has one of the scariest scenes of all time that still stands the test of time. And I'm going to go with Psycho because no one literally
that one.
If you have seen Psycho, you have never in your life taken a shower the same. Everyone, when they take a shower, thinks someone is going to rip the curtain open and stab them to death. It's always in the back of your head. Always, right?
You've also never gone to a motel the same.
Exactly, yes. Motels are scary. Being home alone and taking a shower is scary because of that movie.
Yes, CJ.
I don't, the shower linings, it bothers my wife. I don't have the heart to tell her. I hope she's not listening. So we have 2 bathrooms. She has a bathroom like a regular person's shower set up with the lining in it. My lining is clear. She's like, no, you need to put something decorative up. It's like, no, I just like to be able to look out. No, I'm terrified because of that movie of not being able to see an intruder come in and stab me to death. I need that lining to be clear. I do not like lining that I can't see directly out of because of this movie.
I completely agree.
Good pick, Bennett.
Yeah, like a lot of times,
so
I'll lock the bathroom door.
Yeah.
Yes, like if I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm locking the door when I'm taking a shower.
Keep people out because something is going on and they're untoward or anything like that. Not because like I got body issues. I don't want people to see my naked body. No, I don't want somebody coming in to stab me to death.
That's it.
No.
And Bennett.
And like a very aggressive, like so many stabs to get to the
stabs.
end.
Yep.
And just the song of it is so good. The music is perfect. Norman Bates is just this unassuming guy.
You want the 60s version, not the newer version with...
yes, I want the original,
I want
yes.
Janet
Give me the
Leigh
original, 1960.
dying in the shower.
But Vince, what's his name?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Great job in that movie.
Yep.
My favorite twist in any scary movie is that one. And that also sells it. It's slow building. You get the moment of the stabbing. It's not like a whole bunch of people are dying. You're trying to figure it out.
You sit in it.
And you figure it out. And then you realize, oh my, Norman Bates is legit crazy.
Yeah.
You're just stuck in that. And then the movie ends. And you don't get any sort of real resolution. Great
We
pick,
also talk about Nepo babies so much. And like the ultimate Nepo baby is the horror Nepo baby connection from Janet Leigh in Psycho to Jamie Lee Curtis being the star of Halloween. Like not only are they both actresses, but the fact that they have such standpoints in horror movie history, I think is perfect. CJ, your 4th pick.
Gosh. Oh boy. Give me The Omen.
Yeah.
Give me The Omen.
Damien's creepy. Damien's creepy.
Terrifying. And The Omen, much like The Exorcist, encompasses the religious component and the child component, and it is terrifying watching this little demon baby run around like killing people.
Yeah.
Give me The Omen.
This
And
is so hard.
and it's I'm glad. Thank you for being here, Bennett, because this would have been bad with just 2 people. We probably should have made Lang stay.
Yeah, we should have had a 4th because I am. Oh. Okay. I will go with a.
I've only got 2 left.
Yeah. That's
Okay, I'm gonna go with a movie that I, to this day, am convinced should have won Best Picture when it did not. It will be my newest horror movie of the pick. It is someone who has changed the modern horror movie genre. Give me Get Out. I will take Get Out. There is nothing scarier than a black man going to meet his white girlfriend's family who he's never met before. I think it's just the reality sit-in, and it's not just a psychological horror movie. You get kind of like the monster energy with it, but the monster is so real in society, and it gave us one of the most iconic lines of all time in I would vote for Obama for a 3rd term if I could. Shout out Obama.
Of the scary movies Peele has done, and I think they've all been scary. I think Us is way scarier.
Us is scarier, but I think
Us is
Get Out
way
is a better movie.
I got you.
Like in its entirety. I will
agree
never
with that. I
get
agree with
over
that.
that The Shape of Water won for Best Picture that year instead of Get Out. Like that was the year. Horror movies don't win Best Picture, like hardly ever. And I felt that was the opportunity, and it will forever irk me.
Good pick.
I'm gonna go with. I think I'll go with another modern one. I'm gonna go with Hereditary from 2018. Toni Collette is an amazing actress. She's also really scary. Like she's good at being scary on camera, and she is scary as hell in this movie. You know, obviously the. I don't want to give any spoilers. The unfortunate scene where they're driving and the daughter, like, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. No, and then you get into like possession and all that kind of stuff, which always freaks me out. So, yeah, that's a really good modern horror movie. Go with Hereditary.
That was a good pick.
Good pick. All of these have been good picks. All of the ones up here were on my short list. Gosh, what am I gonna do here? On my short list now, last pick, Conjuring. I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna take The Hills Have Eyes, even though that's great. Devil's Rejects, another phenomenal gory film. Amityville Horror, The Shining.
There's a lot of good ones.
Scarier than there are scarier things. Very few things are scarier than a father who's just like, yep, F it, I got to kill everybody in the house, right? Because what are you supposed to do?
Oopsie, we're stuck in a cabin and Daddy has cabin fever.
We got to kill everybody. It's one thing if it's moms. We could get away from moms, but dad, like, no.
And Jack Nicholson is just a terrifying
Johnny.
looking, yeah.
Gosh, Silence of the Lambs is still up there as well. Now, what's my man's name who's dancing around and puts the lotion on his skin, or else it gets the holes again? Is that Billy? Cowboy
No,
Bill?
it's
Cowboy Bob.
No, it's God, why can't I think of Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo Bill.
Yeah,
in
not
Five
Cowboy.
Points,
There we
yes.
go. Buffalo Bill. Like, that's terrifying. And then
Yes.
you've got Hannibal Lecter in there being real creepy, eating brains with fava beans. But I am going to go. I'm going to go. Gosh. Gotta do it. I'm going Tales from the Hood. Going Tales from the Hood.
It is not scary at all. It is not scary at all.
I'm sorry. The number of times I've thought about those little dolls since we watched that damn
Okay,
movie.
actually,
dolls make me stop and look
one
around.
was
Those dolls
scary.
were scary. And I constantly say, you got the sheet?
The twist at the end of that one is incredible. As well.
That movie
And
has sat with me in a way
it's
that I didn't
uncomfortable.
anticipate it.
And you're a grown up. Now imagine watching
As a
it
kid, yeah.
at like 9. That movie is
Yes.
horrifying for me. Candyman was
You're
another
so
one I
funny.
really thought about
Knew you were
taking.
gonna
Candyman's
pick that
good.
movie. Oh my God. I am so torn with what to do with this last pick. I saw Luke in the chat said Insidious and Midsommar not being drafted is driving him crazy.
Insidious is on my list.
Midsommar is on my list. The last scene of Midsommar is so good, and I love Florence
I think of
Pugh.
that more. That I know it's a horror movie. I think of it more as it's just a good movie.
And it's
Like,
so
it
funny.
doesn't
You want to
scare
know how
me
I
that much.
categorize it?
Yeah.
It's an A24 movie.
It's an A24
which
movie.
is
That's
not
right.
not a theme of movies at all, but that's how I like think of it in my head.
Like, I love it. It's one of my favorites, but it doesn't scare me necessarily.
I am not taking this, but it really is one of my favorite scary horror movies of all time. The great musical Little Shop of Horrors, a man-eating plant. What's scarier than that?
Yeah.
And people singing about it, and a like psychotic dentist pops up. There's something really scary about dentists. I think, at the risk of losing the draft.
Oh, I'm gonna lose the
At
draft.
the risk of losing the draft, but staying true to myself, I am going to take.
Do it.
I'm going to take Alien.
That's a good pick.
I'm gonna take
What are you
Alien.
talking about?
It's a good
Why would
pick.
you lose the draft on that? You got 2 movie monsters that I would think people would
I know.
put up their top 5 movie monsters
I
all
have
time.
2 slasher people. I have two slashers, 2 movie monsters, and
And-
one like psychological weird
that's what
stuff
it is.
happening and racism.
I thought you were just gonna go black. But yeah.
But I love Alien. And for Alien mostly, like for a young woman watching horror movies, so often you have like final girl syndrome, or the girls are always, running up the stairs instead of out the door and finding ways to die. A lot of my picks, Halloween being one of them with Jamie Lee Curtis surviving, and then with Alien, Signora Weaver as Ripley being like the female protagonist who is successful and who is awesome and strong and powerful. But that Alien, there used to be a ride at Disney World at MGM Studios called the Great Movie Ride. And for years, I refused to go on the Great Movie Ride because they had the scene from Alien where it like pops out of the ceiling.
Shame on them for getting rid of
and
it.
And I was so terrified. And it is things like that that attach themselves to monsters in movies like this that makes a great horror movie that has lasting power.
Which Alien would you say is better?
I like the
Alien
first.
or Alien 2.
I prefer the first.
And
And like a true nerd, I had to study the first in film school because it's not just a great horror movie. It's like script-wise, almost a perfect script. So I picked the first, but I know some people prefer the second.
I prefer the second just because I love sci-fi, and it just takes like it takes the first one to just a whole different level. But the first one is just amazing. They're both. I love them both.
I love Alien. I was gonna take Carrie, which is what I thought might throw the
I
drop.
thought about that too.
The final scene of Carrie, the gravesite scene, like I think is the best. So often you don't get one last jump scare, and that gives you one last jump scare.
And we wait way too long for the scare in Carrie. That's why it wasn't on mine. It was like Carrie is just a regular movie, and then the last 10, 15 minutes, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Okay, are we gonna talk through some honorable mentions?
Sure,
like,
sure.
should I do that now, or should I just go ahead and give my pick?
And then we'll give any honorable mentions.
Okay, because there's some that I feel bad about leaving off that I want to talk about, but I'm gonna go with. See, and I don't know how necessarily scary. It scared me when I was a kid. It doesn't scare me now, but it's just one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I saw someone mention in the chat, and I got to put it on my list. I'm going to go with The Thing from 1982. Kurt Russell. It's about I think they're in Antarctica on like a, in a, what are they called? Like the stations where they, anyways, science station. I don't know. A parasite infiltrates the community, and it gets pretty wild. Some of the best practical effects like ever in horror movies. It's John Carpenter. I wanted to get because I really wanted Halloween. I think John Carpenter is like one of the goats of horror movies. And so I'm gonna take what I think is his second best. I'll go with The Thing, 1982.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.